We're talking about what stops us from creating and hopefully how to fix it.
I'm Sandy.
And I'm John.
And this is my Lady Disdain.
Welcome to part 2 of our Create Room journey.
So in step 1, we talked about why we like to create. Why, as artistic, creative people, we do what we do. For me, it was a need for expression and to bring joy.
And for me, it was about connection, being able to make a deeper connection with other people and work with them creatively. Here is the Create Room website. Last time we did part 1. This time we're going to go to the community tab and click step 2, identify barriers to creativity. If you want to follow along with us, all you have to do is look for this link, Create Room Journey Workbook, and you'll be able to write down all of your answers to what stops you from being able to work and come to an answer that's right for you.
According to Create Room, there are 8 barriers to creativity.
Let's take a look. All right, we have storage, organization, and workspace. Those 3 are very aligned with each other.
They all kind of flow into each other, but you'll see as we go along how they are different.
Yeah. What else we have, Sandy?
Time, energy, confidence, skills, tools, and then there's a space for you to come up with something that really doesn't fit in that category.
So what we need to do with the workbook now is decide which ones are applicable to us and which ones are really causing us the most problem. Well, let's start at the top. Storage. I am disheartened because my supplies are scattered all over my house. I don't have a dedicated place to store everything.
Okay, so that one's not totally my issue. I have bookshelves, I have cubbies, just about every kind of storage that you can think of I have in my sewing room.
All right, so how about organization? I don't really know where everything is. My supplies are in different bins and drawers, so it takes too long to set up a new craft project.
I have plenty of places to put things. I just don't have them all in the right place. I don't always know where everything is. I have so many different containers because I can never find exactly the right container for what I want to store.
Yeah.
So I would say definitely organization, not only taking stuff out and knowing where I'm pulling it from, but being able to easily put it back is an issue. So the next one is workspace. I don't have a dedicated place to work that is big enough, and or my workspace isn't in the same area as where I store supplies.
For me, stuff is scattered everywhere. I do multiple things. I shoot video, I shoot pictures, I make props and sets, and then of course I do all of the editing for all of this. So between my office, the photography studio, the video studio, which is essentially the doll room.
Don't forget about our garage.
Right. If I want to do photography, I've got to get that set up, get the doll. I've got to get the doll dressed in a particular way. So I go down here and there ends up being clothes everywhere. Nothing's ever in a good place for me.
For me, I have a nice crafting space. Is it the right crafting space if it doesn't do exactly what you want it to do?
Doesn't that change over time?
Yeah, it does, actually. For example, I have a beautiful, huge cutting table, but I now mostly sew for 24-inch high dolls. So I don't actually need as much cutting space. So the next one is time. I have too many other things that need to be done. I can't get started because I'd need too much dedicated time to get set up. I can't justify the time.
I mean, this happens to me to some extent, but it's more of just like figuring out this big puzzle of all the things that have to happen in order for like us to produce a video. The pre-production stuff, the filming, the post-production, filming B-roll and all of the stuff. I mean, this video alone is lots of different activities.
For me, it's about uninterrupted time. I have household duties, laundry. We have 2 very affectionate, involved in our lives dogs. You know, like I'll just get started on something and one of the dogs will come in and remind me that it's time for breakfast or they need to go outside. It derails me and I have a hard time getting back to what I need to do.
All right, how about energy? I find that when I do have time to create, I lack the energy and motivation.
This one ties into the time category with
Okay.
me. I have anxiety. I have ADHD. The craft room upstairs is a mess. I just know that I'm just going to feel this instant drain. I just can't make myself go up there and look at my craft space. Once I finally do, I also get that energized feeling and the excitement, and I can get really involved in what I'm doing. But sometimes just getting up there is a lot harder than sitting on the couch with the dogs.
Yeah, it's never great when your passion becomes a game of anxiety avoidance. The things that are in front of you, between you and it, are causing you anxiety.
Right. Confidence. I am judgmental of my creations and lack confidence. This makes crafting stressful and often disappointing. This one is not an incredibly big deal for me, although I know it is for a lot of people.
I don't have too much of an issue with confidence either, but it's because of the areas that we're talking about. I mean, I will say I am low confidence in like writing especially. I have ideas and all of these things that I want to do. I don't like when I can't make the idea that I want come to fruition. But that's also why I'm so driven to find other like-minded people to collaborate with that can take up those areas that I'm not confident in, that I can't just do myself.
Skills. I want to create more, but I don't feel like I have enough skills or knowledge.
Okay, I had this really great idea, but there's no way I can do it. I have ideas that get blocked by this. I do not find that my creative life is blocked by it.
There's things I want to learn to do better, like things like digitization for embroidery and for the Cricut, stuff like that. Sewing is my biggest craft, and that's something where you're always learning anyway. You're always trying some new skill to make it better.
All right, how about tools? I don't have the right tools and materials to create what I want. There's things that I want to do that I like are just like, this just takes so long to do it by hand with an X-Acto knife and foam core. Is that what I want to spend my time doing? So we strategically buy tools to expand our capabilities, to make our life easier, to do something more efficiently, and to allow us to then expand what we can do elsewhere. All right, so we went through all the categories. Not all of them applied. Sandy, why don't you take me through the ones that matter most and you know, in order of like the biggest.
My list would probably be first would be organization.
Yeah.
My crafting space just gets crazy, and if you could see where all the doll stuff is in this room, it's nuts. The second one would be energy, and that's actually highly impacted by the organization aspect. I don't have the energy to go up and deal with it. And then the third one would be time. I'm a dog mom, I have a house to take care of. Where can I put my time?
The biggest for me are workspace. Again, I'm just fractured when it comes to dealing with my creative spaces, and then tying that all in with organization. I don't know, maybe make some portable cubby type things, or you know, like toolkits or something. And then I think lastly, time. I'm striving to be as efficient as possible with the time it takes us to film our videos, to then edit our videos.
But I mean, you know, like workspace and organization, that all impacts your time. For example, when we go to do our live streams on Monday nights, we have to clean off our entire desk space from doll things from the whole week before.
I take all of that stuff, put it over there. Like,
right. And then
it
I
just
have to
gets
go,
worse.
where is that thing?
All right, so those are our blockers to creativity. The next step, step 3 in the create room journey, is to create goals. And literally, create goals. So create goals are well-written goals with a clear vision and specific results to ensure your success.
So the C in create stands for concrete. What do you ultimately want to achieve? Write it down in simple form. R is realistic. Ensure your goal is reasonable and achievable.
E stands for exact. They want you to be specific here. It basically lets you actually measure the results and make sure that you can actually do it. A is for action oriented. And so this is making sure that you've really included the steps needed to accomplish this goal.
T is time bound. You're going to identify the timeline of your steps and a deadline to complete the goal.
And lastly, E is exciting, which sounds a little bit weird, but what they mean here is that it actually aligns to your purpose. For me, connection. I want to make sure that the goals I make are actually feeding that purpose.
Right.
We're going to make a create goal and see how we can kind of adapt this. Sandy, what do you want to make a goal for?
Organization is my biggest goal, but that should be covered like in steps 4 and 5 of the journey.
Yeah, they're actually going to do a pretty in-depth, like, organizational review of all your stuff in your house. Really cool personal process that you'll go through.
So you'll probably get to see steps 4 and 5 in our house next year.
Not about that, but you are going to see it in bits and pieces.
Right. I will focus my create goal on energy. I want to be able to get into my space and have it be clean because it's hard to be inspired when you're overwhelmed. When I go up to my craft space, I want it to be clean.
Okay, so that sounds like a concrete goal, right? That's first. That's C. Sandy wants to start working in a clean space. Now we should get realistic with it. Think about the scope.
I probably need to put things away when I'm done every time. A lot of times I'll end up working really, really late, and I need to make sure I stop at a certain point and go, I have this much energy left to put things away.
You want to make sure you clean the space when you're done using it.
Right.
And that way you don't have to think it at all when you're ready to come back to it.
Right. I'll know that it's clean and it's inviting and it's ready for me to come back and do what I want to do.
E is exact. So can we get even more specific than like, I want to clean my space when I'm done using it?
Maybe I clean off my cutting table?
We're not saying like I have to clean the entire room, but we're starting with your immediate workspace.
I do have pretty much everything there at this point. And I end up with bins piled up. So I need to make sure I get those bins put away and stuff so that I'm not constantly layering new project stuff on top of old project stuff.
Let's think now about the steps needed, action-oriented. What are you going to do?
When I use something, I'm going to put it away.
Okay, define something.
Fabric, trims, tools.
How about I will put away tools and organize materials when I'm done using them each time?
I guess that's a reasonable goal. Just for the cutting table?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we get to the really important part, the time bound. Especially for something like this. This is a habit. Like this is something that you're going to probably need to follow up with another create goal. But we do want to make sure that you're going to be able to measure success, and it's really important, especially for those of us with ADHD, to be able to have successes, to be able to have concrete things that we say we did and we got done. What is a reasonable amount of time to be able to do that you're going to say you're going to dedicate to this? And this is a habit. Like, how long are you going to try keeping it up for?
I'm going to spend 10 minutes doing this. I'm going to get everything done that I can get done in 10 minutes, and then I'm going to stop.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go too far with it. I'll say for a week.
You can build on that. And
Right.
you can set a goal to do it for longer.
Right.
All right, the last part, exciting, right? Aligning with your purpose. You've got to have the why in there. Your reason, the result, the impact that this is going to have. So when you look at this goal, you're not just seeing I'm doing this, you're seeing why you're doing this, what you're getting out of it.
Right. I'm not going to be stressed. I'm going to be de-stressed, have energy, and be focused to work the next time I go in the space. And I'm not going to be overwhelmed.
Okay, and then adding that in to the rest of it. To de-stress and energize myself when I return to a project, I will spend 10 minutes putting away tools and organizing materials after each crafting session for 1 week.
That sounds reasonable to me.
It's a bit of a mouthful, but I think all that extra stuff, all that extra work of honing and then also adding in like the reasoning and stuff, it's important.
What are you going to focus on?
I've just got time left to talk about. The thing that takes the most amount of time and the thing that stresses me the most when I don't have the time to do it is all of the production work for the channel. I will spend 1 hour outlining our videos and reviewing with Sandy before shooting each one for 1 month. And this will free up time to make our content more engaging for our community.
I'm excited by that.
If you're watching this about a week or so after this video originally is uploaded, you should be able to just click right here to go to the next video for Create Room. If it's not there yet, we'll put up a playlist of other videos you might be interested in.
That's all for us. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.